haven't been having a good time with it. So try to have fun. Try to make light of it. So now that you know 7 C's of being a quality man, I want to give you guys some really just quick tips on confidence. So if you're looking for that quick confidence boost, this is the stuff right here. Working out, that's going to be almost instantaneous. Why? Because you can see results, usually pretty quickly if you're doing it right. And that's going to give you a lot of confidence. It's going to get the endorphins flowing, you're going to feel stronger, just feel more fit, you're just going to feel really good. Quickest way to confidence, working out. Fixing your body language, which we were talking about before. There's something psychological that if you do kind of walk around all day like slumped over, like your arms are crossed, or you're standing in this soldier position, your knees are really close together, your feet are close together, it's going to make you feel kind of less important, kind of like in the corner. But if you can really stand tall, roll your shoulders back, spread your legs, stick out your chest a little bit, you don't have to overdo it, but just kind of stand tall, it actually makes you feel kind of more confident. So that's a good quick little fix. Have your friends support you. This is not always an option. I did not have this option when I first started this. I had to really dig deep and find wings and go on forums and things like that, but having wingmen or just friends by your side, people supporting you in what you do, if you can find someone who's supportive like that, that's going to be so crucial to your confidence. It's going to make you feel really, really good. Because even when you screw up or something doesn't go right, they can boost you up and say, hey man, it's going to be okay, we'll get through this. You can do the same for them. By you doing it to them, you're doing it to yourself, back and forth, back and forth. So really great, quick way to confidence, always have someone on your side. Mistakes are your best friend, fail fast. Also something that I've heard before, I don't remember where I heard it, but I think it was actually fail forward fast or something like that. But either way, fail fast. What's up?
I was going to add about having friends support you.
Yeah.
Even though that does involve something, you can't control, other people. I would also add, at the very least, which has helped me, is don't shy away from putting it out there that you're doing X, Y, and Z to better your life, because that's one of the myths I think about the community in general, is that people think they need to conceal their involvement in this, like it's something to be ashamed of. And Neil Strauss himself last year at the convention said that was probably one of the worst emotions people associate with this is shame, which is going to undermine everything you do to change your life. So
yeah, for sure.
Put it out there. Be proud that you're doing it, something to change your life, because very few people do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll admit it. I didn't tell anybody, except for my brother. Because people, this is the same thing, going back to, we don't want people to think we're strange or weird. We don't want people to be judging us. Here's what I've learned, is that once someone is judging you, most of the time, it's them projecting. Because at the end of the day, a completely secure person would never judge someone else for something, right? So if I was, I am completely secure. I even had this back in the day, even before this started. I might not have been secure myself, but at least I saw the good in people to want to change. So whenever I saw someone changing, I was never like, oh, what a loser, what an idiot. Because I know inside I always wanted to change. So the people who are judging you for that, they have their own issues that they're dealing with. Because most of those people are scared to change. Most people are scared to change. That's why I took the book, the game, to come out and say, hey guys, guess what? You can change. People are doing this. It was really cool. I think the book is really fun, entertaining book. I don't think it's a good how-to, but I think it was really cool that it came out. Most people find this stuff because they read that book and they're like, oh, other people are doing it. Fuck it, I can do it too. Where were we? Okay. Fail fast. You want to make mistakes as fast as you can. Because the faster you make mistakes, the faster you're going to learn from your mistakes. The faster you learn from your mistakes, the quicker you're going to gain confidence. So guys are afraid of rejection, afraid of pushing boundaries like we're talking about, and they're taking this really slow route. And it's going to take them a long time. They might not even get to that point where they're confident because they're so afraid of failure. I say, screw that. Fail as fast as you can, learn as much as you can. Go out there, fuck what other people think about you, get your shit handled. Hopefully those people who are judging you will get their shit handled, and learn. And you will succeed way faster. Again, it's all mental. And here's another really cheesy little thing I like to tell guys, but I put a little twist on it. So I've always heard from people have told me this, when you're not feeling confident, you're not feeling good about yourself, make a list. Make a list of all the things that you feel that you're good at, right? What are the things that make you feel confident? Maybe you suck with women, but you're amazing at math. You're amazing at basketball. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Whatever it is. Make a list to reinforce those ideas. Here's what's more important. When you make that list, expand on it. So actually add to that list on stuff that you want to be doing. And that's going to have to do with women, dating, but go bigger. Have bigger goals. Maybe it's getting promoted at your company. Maybe it's learning a new skill, a soft skill, a hard skill. That's like, so a soft skill would be like, I want to learn how to get better at conversation. A hard skill is like, I want to get better at learning how to tune up a car. Okay, so add these things and keep on looking at that list and keep on attacking it. And the more that you attack that list and the more you just keep on putting stuff on there, you're going to become confident really fast. One big tip I can give you is that the more shit you know, and the more shit you know how to do, they say knowledge is power, super, super powerful in terms of meeting girls. Because the more stuff that you know about, exactly, the more stuff you can talk about. And just talking about a whole array of things, I mean, not just women, but people are going to become attracted to you. You're going to be able to have a conversation with anybody. Yeah.
I was going to add that last point you just made about the more stuff you're able to talk about. The fourth one actually plays into that too, because all the mistakes I've made, like mistakes I've done on purpose, like the silliness and embarrassing things,
yeah,
they make the most best stories because they're so unpredictable. Like if you tell a woman about a disaster date rather than, the trivial, best relationship you've ever had, she's gonna listen up to that because you're dropping this, your own version of America's Funniest Home Videos,
yeah,
but it's from your life. So yeah, those are gems, I think.
Yeah, and that also makes you connect with women faster because it's human to screw up, right? So if you can tell confidently a story about you screwing up something or doing something really embarrassing, she's gonna feel more comfortable with you. Like, oh, okay, he screwed up too. No, we've all screwed up. No one's perfect. So, confidence is a process. So those are the quick ways to gain confidence, but in reality, we all know that even though we can have those little boosts, we all know that confidence is really takes a long time, right? It's something you have to work on. Here's a big lesson that I learned way too late. Like this is something I learned maybe a year ago. Is that not just confidence, but anything you're working on is always going to be a process. And if you just remember that, right? So another example would be working out. You're trying to lose weight, you're trying to gain weight, whatever it is. Yeah, things are not going to happen overnight. But if you can keep at it and just do like tiny little things over 6 months, over a year, you see that change. Same thing with confidence. It's about doing those little confidence boosts over and over and over, failing over and over and over, learning over and over and over. that once you stick to that and you remember like, oh God, this is draining, this is hard, this is taking too long, then you go back and you're like, okay, no, this is supposed to be long. This is not supposed to happen right away. Right? So you have to be confident, no pun intended, but you have to be confident in the fact that confidence is a process. Like, okay, it's meant to be this way, and that's okay. But what's 1 year out of your life to dedicate yourself to something that you really want to learn or get better at? And of course, confidence is really only going to happen if you take action. So right now, maybe you're feeling more confident. Great, I'm doing my job. But it's really going to come in you taking information and applying it. Taking all that action. And here's another little tip too, something I learned way too late, is that you always want to try new stuff. So I said before, like make that list of all the stuff you want to do, make that list. Because here's what's going to happen. The more and more you push yourself out of your comfort zone and the more and more you try new things, eventually what's going to happen is that you're going to get used to trying new things. So all of a sudden trying something new is not going to be scary, even if it's something that you would think a year ago would be really scary. Because you're like, oh, I'm always trying something new. I'm always doing new stuff. I'm always pushing myself. This can be like whatever, skydiving, anything that you want to be frightened of, anything you want to try, trying new food, whatever it is. It's like body language, right? The more and more you practice your posture, the more and more your body's going to be like, okay, posture needs to happen, my body's getting used to this. It's all mental too, right? So the more and more you try new stuff, you'll get used to it, you'll get more confident. And that goes along with your mindset. Always moving forward, giving yourself that positivity. And then all this is kind of connected here, right? So you want to create the tangible and measurable goals. You can look it up. It's like SMART goals, S-M-A-R-T. It's like certain type of goals that are better to create for yourself. I just took part of that. It's really the best thing I think is tangible and measurable, right? So something that you can really see and something that you can count, right? Something that's measurable. So like you want to go out tonight and approach 15 girls. That's going to help build confidence because you're going to say, okay, this is my goal, 15. Boom. You know when you hit that number, you've accomplished the goal, you're going to feel more confident. I went out tonight, I did it, I approached 15 girls, boom. Right? So don't be so, what's the word? What's the opposite of tangible? Like,
Intangible.
Intangible, sure, there's another word I'm thinking of. But either way, sure, intangible, right? Something that's not there, just like a thought. So I wouldn't say, okay, I'm going to go out tonight and talk to the hottest girl. I guess that's actually really bad. That's a bad one. Hold on. Let me think of something else. It'd be like, I'm going to be really rich. That's my goal. Bad goal. Really bad goal. It's going to be so much harder for you to get to that point. Right? So instead, you want to be like, okay, this month I'm going to make $5,000. Boom, that's your number. So you want to have those goals that are very specific because you'll know when you accomplish them. And lastly, being your own coach, pushing yourself, fixing your mind, pushing yourself, staying positive. You're going to have to learn how to coach yourself through everything because you're not always going to have someone there. You're going to have to learn how to dig yourself out of holes that no one's going to be there to save you. So start to be your own coach. Start to push yourself. Because confidence, any other really big goal you have, is going to be a long process. Yeah.
I think that's a really good one.
Hold on, abstract. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay, go.
No, I was gonna say I think that's a really good one there to be your own coach because there's been so many times I've hosted events and people have looked at me like I'm gonna be doing the grunt work for them, but I mean, there's nothing I can do to, even if I go out and make a mistake in front of their eyes, the lesson isn't learned for them. It doesn't transfer over, you know what I mean? They have to actually experience the mistake or the interaction in order to gain its benefits or suffer its consequences, you know? Yeah.
Exactly. And last, confidence is real. That's another thing I've learned too. Confidence, I said before, is a feeling, right? It's abstract. It's not tangible. Like this is tangible. We all know this is a bottle of water. I'm holding it. It's right here. There's no argument unless you're crazy, right? Fact. Confidence is a feeling. It's like happiness or being sad or excited, whatever. So the point is this. Confidence can be created at any moment. I can't create a bottle of water at any moment. There's a lot of things I have to do before that can happen. But confidence, because it's a feeling, I can choose to be confident at any time. I can choose to be sad at any time, happy. So confidence is something that you can literally have whenever you want it. You can walk out this door today and be like, I'm the most confident person in the world. No one can argue with you. Because if you feel confident, you feel confident. So really, it's about mind control. So as long as you can stay focused, then you can really do anything. So, thanks. That's it. The end. Any questions?
I can think of one. I had a conversation recently with a friend who was more introverted, and they weren't as used to being around extroverted people. So in essence, their biggest difficulty is just being in that socially vulnerable moment where silliness is happening, because they almost feel pressured to change, or like there's some kind of consequence that's about to happen. The eyeballs are on them. They're being judged because someone's doing something silly in their group. And I'm trying to think of a simple way to pitch it to them that, for one, nobody's asking them to change. But on the other hand, there's, like in sales, we talk about both consequences and benefits, the things that can be gained from accepting the product or service and the things that can be lost by not doing it. So that was the foundation I was building, about confidence in general, and just extroverted behavior. So I don't know, if you had a friend who was more insecure or just more quiet type, and you wanted to address, how they could at least, adapt without having to feel like they were an outcast, how would you approach that?
Well, the first thing is this. I would never, ever give unsolicited advice. No one's going to really change or want to listen to you on any advice unless they're ready to change. So the first thing is like, if I saw someone needed help, and I really wanted to, I'd ask them like, hey, do you want some tips,
yeah,
right? So they have to want it first.
It wasn't me giving it to them. They actually came to me saying I should change.
Okay.
Like that our group was more outgoing, and they felt it was over the top just because we do act silly once in a while, but there's from the way I see it, just the endorphins released from laughter. I've experienced the benefits, so I've been bitten by the bug. They haven't.
Well, are you more of an introverted person or an extroverted person?
Extroverted, definitely.
Okay. So a person who's introverted would have to go at this in a whole new way. So I have some introverted clients, and it's very difficult. I can't just throw them into a bar and say, all right, loud music, craziness, let's have you approach. Some I can, but really it's not a good idea. And for those types of guys, you have to take a much slower approach. Right? So for that, I would start them off during the day, where it's like a little more peaceful, a little more relaxed. They can maybe go and approach a girl and just like say hi and then walk away. I would take more of a baby step approach with them. So with those guys, it would be better to even put them in a situation where there's like a meetup group or something where people are being more friendly. Just get them to be social in smaller groups. Because bigger groups, or an extroverted person, I'm an extroverted person. Are you guys extroverted, introverted? I don't know. What's the answer?
More of introvert, but
It's a sliding scale, I know, it's a sliding scale, but
like if I set my mind to something that I have to do something, or I have to be in this group, I have to be funny. I can manage to do it, but it doesn't come to me naturally.
Mhm.
But if I set my eye on it, I can do it.
okay. Well, yeah, I mean, that's too that. It's some people are strong enough, like you, to do that, to be like, listen, I might be introverted or I might just not want to do it, but you're just going over that hump and forcing yourself through it. But anyway, I was saying before, like, extroverted people, they'll kind of get a high from being around a lot of people and public speaking or going to a bar and approaching a group of 4 or 5 girls. So for them, still might be scary, but if they can handle it a little bit better, it's when introverted. So anyways, I think the answer is you have to start them off in smaller groups, because introverted people, they don't get the energy from others like extroverted people do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a slower process.
Right.
I want to know how important are looks and all. Like if you want to approach and you feel like a girl is out of your league, and like what I feel is mostly because of the looks. Like because when you see somebody, you cannot know what kind of person she is, or the first thing you get attracted, the first thing that comes when you see is the looks. So if you feel yourself that you're not that good looking, how to like come past that, or
Right.
in that case, I don't know if I should say this, but like racial boundaries as well, like being an Indian approaching a blonde or something like that.
Yeah. So confidence, having confidence, supersedes looks when it comes to attracting women on a huge level. Now, I'm not saying that you should be going up to girls looking like shit and smelling bad.
No.
Okay. But like, you need to look your best that you can be. Okay. So you wear the clothes that fit you. If you're overweight, work out. If you're underweight, work out. Right. So optimize what you can do to be your best looking self. But remember that once you get to that point, and on top of that, you can just be confident, feel confident. Of course, that's going to go with all that practice, right? The women, white, black, Indian, Mexican, they're going to be attracted to that. The second you go up to them and you're nervous and they feel that you feel that they're out of your league, that's the second that they're going to be like, get this guy away from me.
Isn't
Does that
there a
make sense?
stigma? Isn't there a stigma in, because I've not been long here. It's just been a year I've been in US.
Mm-hmm.
So doesn't this stigma exist between among the women that like I just want to date a white man, or I just want to date a
Well, in a sense, it's kind of evolutionary. We are more attracted to, this is very generally speaking,
right.
but it is a little easier for us to be more attracted to our race. I'm a great example of that. I'm really only attracted mainly to Caucasian women. It's very difficult for me to be attracted to anything else. So that will make it a little more difficult, right? But there's no stigma, and it's not impossible, because interracial dating happens all the time. It's all in your head, right? And it is true, absolutely, that a white woman does not want to date an Indian man, if you think it's true.
Yeah, I was gonna add on top of that, Asim. There's a gentleman who I met last year at the convention. His name is Magic, and he's a great coach. He's Indian. He has the dialect and everything. And I've seen on his Facebook page some of his pictures. I mean, he has the facial hair in some instances, everything. But what he did is actually only worked on general confidence and proving the conservative stereotypes to be wrong. So, you know, a lot of minority clients that I've seen tend to have more conservative and just really gentle nature. If you can blast past that, you'll do what, you know, comedians try to do. They try and surprise the audience. So you surprise a woman by coming up to her with just a wave of confidence, you know, wave of humor. They'll eat that up really quickly, regardless of race. And magic has proven that.
Yeah, he's, again, the same things I was saying before. He has two things that are working for him, even though he's Indian with a thick accent. His look is insane. Like, he dresses like a badass, and he dresses well. He's got boots sort of similar to that, really tight, crazy pants. He grew out his hair, he wears a weird hat, and it just works for him. Like, he dresses well. I think he studied it for a while. Like, he knows what he's doing in that arena, right? So he looks like a badass, and his confidence is just like off the wall. He truly just doesn't give a shit. So I know it sounds kind of like fluff techniques, but really, I'm telling you, that's all you need. Confidence, look badass, look good, right? Because I think there might be, forgive me if I'm wrong here, there might be like a stereotype on Asian guys or Indian guys that they're a little more nerdy, right? Not as confident, more shy. But like Nate was saying, you bust through that.
Yeah, the guys I've seen, some of them are close friends of mine. Asian, I have some Asian friends who prove that to be wrong, and then some other friends. Kumar's hung out with me a lot, and the times you've blasted past that, you've cracked jokes. I mean, you were in a totally different zone. Like when we've done improv exercises before going out, you were just fearless, and it showed in your posture, your behavior, your tone of voice, and women love that stuff. They don't. So don't label yourself as you know, being in a disadvantageous position. You know, if they want to reject you because they have their taste, so be it. But just remember, in the world of personal taste, there's no such thing as right or wrong. There's just difference. So even if she doesn't find you attractive per se, you have opportunity of making a friend regardless. You know what I mean? So don't. It's not like you have to sleep with every woman you approach. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Do you see more like ugly guy with beautiful women than you could see like fat women with like handsome dudes? And I'm like 5'4", and I've dated like a girl that prefer like 6 foot, and she only dated Caucasian guy, and I got her through just confidence, and it works very well.
Yeah, they say stuff.
They don't know.
They don't know.
You could always like say, you should try something new. Yeah.
There's so many funny YouTube videos I was watching recently where guys are going up to girls and they're asking their opinion, like, how can a guy come pick you up at a club? How can a guy hit on you? And everything they say is terrible. Right? Because they think like, oh, I want a really nice guy who's just going to be genuine and nice. And of course, yeah, like, you want to be those things, but the way they're explaining it, like, yeah, just come up to me and just, you know, just whatever, talk about whatever. It doesn't matter. Just come up to me. It's like, no, obviously, you just can't just go up to a girl and talk about whatever and just be really nice, right? They don't understand the triggers that really attract two people together. No one really does until you start studying it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then putting it into practice, but yeah, don't take dating advice from women. Any other questions?
Do you find yourself like emulating your wingman? Like when you first start out and you got a bunch of wings, do you find you emulate them or such? Because I find that when I found a couple of wings where they're very confident, like their style of approach, like you Hey, come here, can I do? I just want to do that 100 set challenge where like just practice that confidence, like, you know, like there are other style where indirect, like, excuse me, I just thought you were really cute, but like I just want to emulate a certain style. How do you do that? Is that like 100 set, and do you find yourself like end up emulating other people?
That depends on the person.
Okay.
I mean, when you're with certain people and you guys hang out a lot, you tend to emulate them. So if there's someone that's doing something right, then yeah. I mean, I say you don't always have this choice, but it's really best to be winging with someone who's better than you, at least a little bit. It's funny because if everyone knew that, then that advice wouldn't work out. But just my tips for you guys, try to at least have one person in the people you're going out with that is a little bit better than you, because you'll start to learn from them. But what you were saying before in terms of doing like a 100 set challenge, or what was the question there?
How do you like? Is that like once you want to be good at what they're at, like say they're very confident or they're very alpha when they approach someone, do you like do certain challenge like practice 100 set? The next 100 set, I'm gonna emulate them.
So you see something you like and that's working and you want to become that. Yeah, rinse and repeat.
Okay.
Rinse and repeat. And, like I was saying before, believe. You gotta believe you can do it. Right? Because just the fluff techniques of just doing it over and over, that's part of it. But if you're not imagining that you can succeed in that way, or you don't think it's gonna work, then it's not gonna work. But I guess in this case, if you're seeing that it is working and that's why you're using it, then yeah, then it will work. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, it's just
over and over and over and over.
I could see they finally got good. I just want that, so I just want to emulate it. And
Yeah.
I'm just at this point where like I'm trying to get this down.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, just get it down. Keep on. Just drill it. Drill it. The way I talk to girls now, holy shit! It's like I'm an actor. If you saw me 6 years ago, I was never like that. And it's funny because I was working with someone last night. And he was like, "This is really tough for me because this." He says, "This is not me." He's like, "I feel like I'm becoming someone that's not me." Guys are so scared of that. That's the whole being scared to change. And then I had to snap him out of it. I said, "All right, just stop for a second. What do you want?" We're like in the middle of a bar. It's really loud. I'm just like, "Just tell me what you want." I'm like, "Do you want to be more social?" Yes. "Do you want to meet women?" Yes. "Do you want to be the guy in the bar, in the group, that's being social and attracting women and people are liking you?" Yes. "Okay. So what you're doing now, is it working?" "No." "All right. So you're going to have to become that guy." And don't think about it like it's not you, because what's going to happen is it's going to become you. In the beginning, it's going to feel really strange. And this is very much directly related to confidence, right? Being confident in anything. And at first it's really weird. You're like, okay, I'm going up and approaching a girl and saying a line. I've never done this before. This is weird. And then you've done it 50 times. It's not weird anymore. It becomes who you are. You're now the guy who knows how to approach and will approach a girl when you want to.
It's I find that a lot of like I know a couple of friends, they have the same mentality like, oh, I want to change myself for the girl, and I'm like, what are you talking about? People change all the time. It's just whether you change for the good or the bad, right?
Right.
It's like,
You got to change for the good and change for yourself. You know, if you're not attracting women, you're doing something wrong. Something needs to change. So, like you probably heard before, it's becoming your best self. Because being yourself is not working. That's the worst advice, by the way, the girls are giving. The guy just has to be himself. It's fine. No. Bad. Because that self right now is not going to do anything. You know it's not working for you. So you have to improve yourself. But you have to want it. You have to want to do it. And it's uncomfortable. It's strange. I remember seeing other wings at the bar. They'd go up to everybody and like cheers them and like high five and talk, and I was like, oh my god, I was like, how is this guy doing this? This looks amazing. I was like, I want to be that person, but in the back of my head I was like, but that's not me. But I wanted it to become me. So I made it become me. And now when I look back at that old self, who was really shy and didn't know how to talk to people or work a room, I don't look back and say, I miss that. No way, I'm so happy that I changed. I'm this new person that can do the things that I've always wanted to do.
You know, there's a lot of different views on the whole idea of change, and I've always thought personally that the negative or positive emotions, whether that be confidence or shyness, those are the result, and the what causes them are the habits. Now you have good and you have bad habits, and you know the things you do or don't do are going to dictate which emotions you're going to feel as a result. So it's like, you tell a friend to quit smoking, they're going to have to work a while to overcome that habit. So, if the failure to approach or go do something outside of the comfort zone is basically the person's nicotine, that's their obstacle. So, habits, if you ever study it, the psychology of it, it's a lot of repetition and to change the subconscious. You get look into stuff like hypnosis. It's pretty powerful stuff because you're able to get into the root of the part of your brain you can't consciously change sitting here talking to other people.
Because it's not practice, it's just
Exactly.
abstract.
Abstract. Word of the day.
Yeah.
Abstract. Intangible. Cool. Any other questions?
You want to mention your website and where people can find you?
Yeah, for sure. Let's go back here real quick. So my website is TrippAdvice.com. That's my name, Tripp. And if you guys have any more questions or you want to talk about working together, what I specialize in is taking guys out to lounges, bars during the day, helping them get over approach anxiety, teaching guys how to flirt, teaching guys how to talk to women, hold conversation, and being more sexual and touching and getting girls on dates. And mainly, what I do that might be a little bit different than other people is I'm actually not a pickup artist. I don't consider myself a pickup artist, rather a dating coach. So everything I teach is trying to help you guys become better more naturally. So I'm not feeding you routines and feeding you, a lot of manipulative stuff. It's more stuff to help you become better with women and more confident in this natural process. So if you want to contact me, TrippAdvice.com, just contact Tripp at TrippAdvice.com. And that's it.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks, man.
Guys. Thank you. Great turnout. Thanks, guys. Thank you.